Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Groovy English, where we make learning English fun, real, and part of your everyday life. I'm Sarah, and today we're diving into one of my absolute favorite ways to learn and grow in English, podcasts. Yep, this episode is all about how I use podcasts to level up my English, and how you can too. Now, I know there are tons of learning methods out there, grammar books, online classes, YouTube, apps, and they're all great. But podcasts? For me, they've been a game changer. And by the end of this episode, I think you'll see why. Let's start with the big question, why podcasts? What makes them so powerful for language learning? For me, it all comes down to immersion. Podcasts help you surround yourself with English in a way that feels natural. You're not just studying English, you're living in it. And the best part? You can do it anywhere. While walking, cooking, commuting, or even before bed. No textbooks, no stress. Just real, flowing, living English in your ears. I used to think that if I wasn't taking notes, or answering questions, or highlighting things in a textbook, I wasn't learning. But listening to podcasts taught me something important: exposure is learning. Even if you don't understand every single word, your brain is absorbing patterns. You're getting used to sentence structures, rhythm, tone, and pronunciation. That kind of subconscious learning is so powerful, and you don't even have to sit still for it. When I first started, I didn't jump straight into native-level podcasts. I started with ones designed for English learners, like Slow News, or podcast hosts who explain idioms and speak clearly. That helped me build confidence. I could follow the conversation, learn new words, and feel like I was part of something. It wasn't just about listening. It was about connecting. And that connection motivated me to keep going. Let me walk you through how I use podcasts in my daily routine. Every morning, while I make breakfast, I play a 10 to 15 minute English podcast. I don't take notes. I just listen. If I hear something interesting, I might repeat it out loud or pause and rewind. Later, if I have more time, I'll re-listen with the transcript. That's when I catch things I missed the first time. I might highlight a few phrases I want to try using myself. But I never let it become a chore. That's the key. Keep it light, keep it fun. One technique that really helped me is called shadowing. Basically, I listen to the speaker and try to repeat what they're saying in real time, like an echo. At first, it felt weird, like I was talking to myself. But it trained my mouth to move in English. My fluency and pronunciation improved so much. Shadowing is especially great for podcasts with solo hosts, because they often speak clearly and at a steady pace. I recommend starting with short segments, maybe a 1-minute clip, and working your way up. Another thing I learned was to mix active and passive listening. Passive listening is when I'm doing other things, like folding laundry or jogging, while a podcast plays in the background. I don't focus too hard, but I still absorb the language. Active listening is when I sit down, maybe with a transcript or notebook, and really focus on what's being said. I pause, repeat, and even write down new vocabulary. Both methods are useful, and combining them keeps things interesting. One of the best things about English podcasts is how they expose you to culture, not just language. You hear different accents, humor, opinions, and ways of thinking. That helped me feel more connected to English speakers, not just as a language learner, but as a person. I remember listening to a podcast about small talk in the US, and realizing how much people use phrases like, "How's it going?" or "What have you been up to?" I started practicing those in real life, and suddenly, conversations felt easier and more natural. With so many podcasts out there, how do you find the right ones? Start with your interests. Love crime stories? There are English podcasts for that. Into health, business, or fashion? You'll find something. The more you enjoy the topic, the more likely you'll stick with it. And the more often you listen, the faster you'll improve. Also, check if the podcast has transcripts. That's a huge help when you want to review or understand tricky parts. What I love most about podcasts is that they offer real English, not classroom English. You hear how people actually speak. With all the pauses, filler words, expressions, even mistakes sometimes, and that's valuable. Because that's how humans talk. When I started listening regularly, I realized English wasn't about being perfect. It was about being understood. That shift in mindset helped me take more risks in speaking and writing. Podcasts also helped me build vocabulary and context. Instead of memorizing long lists of words, I heard them used in real sentences. I saw how one word could have different meanings depending on tone or situation. And because I enjoyed the topic, I wanted to remember the words. Sometimes, I'd hear a word 3 or 4 times across different podcasts, and by then, it just stuck in my brain. No flashcards needed. You know what else improved with podcasts? My pronunciation and intonation. By mimicking the hosts, I learned where to stress words, how to go up and down in tone, and how to sound more natural. It's something textbooks can't teach you, but podcasts can. Especially when you speak along with the host or repeat after them. It trains your ear and your voice at the same time. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from feeling familiar with the language. And podcasts create that familiarity. The more I listened, the more phrases I recognized. I could predict what someone might say next. And that made me feel more in control during conversations. Here's the secret, it's not about studying harder, it's about showing up every day. Podcasts helped me create a daily English habit. I didn't need motivation every time. It just became part of my life. Like brushing my teeth or making coffee. If you can turn podcast listening into a small daily ritual, the results will surprise you. English podcasts didn't just improve my language skills. They changed the way I see the world. I've listened to interviews with inspiring people, deep dive stories, and even silly banter that made me laugh out loud. They've taught me empathy, humor, and curiosity. And I've discovered new ideas I might never have come across in my native language. When I first started, I made the mistake of translating every word in my head. That slowed me down and made listening stressful. Over time, I trained myself to guess from context, and to let go of needing 100% understanding. Now, I let the meaning come to me through tone, rhythm, and repetition. And it feels so much smoother and less tiring. Lastly, make podcast learning personal. Talk back to the host. Pause and answer questions out loud. Tell your friends about what you learned. Start your own English diary where you reflect on episodes. When you make the language yours, it becomes more than just learning. It becomes part of who you are. And one unexpected benefit. Podcasts help me become more confident in my own voice. At first, I was only listening. Then I started repeating sentences out loud, mimicking tone and rhythm. Eventually, I began to speak more fluently and naturally, because I had internalized how real English sounds, not just how it looks in a textbook. Another thing I love about podcasts is that they let you learn in layers. The first time I listen, I just enjoy the content. The second time, I might focus on pronunciation. The third time, I might write down useful phrases or vocabulary. I get something new every time, depending on my focus and mood. It's like rewatching your favorite movie. You always catch something you missed before. Also, let's not forget the cultural exposure. Podcasts open doors to how people live, work, think, and feel in different parts of the English-speaking world. From humor and slang to serious topics like politics or mental health, you get a rich mix of perspectives that textbooks can never fully offer. For example, one of my favorite podcast episodes was just two friends talking about how hard it is to stay motivated in winter. That sounds simple, but I learned so much about seasonal vocabulary, casual expressions, and even how people cope emotionally with the cold months. These are the kinds of things that make English feel alive. I also noticed a change in how I write, especially emails or messages in English. After listening to enough episodes, I started to hear native sentence patterns in my head when I wrote. My grammar improved, not because I studied harder, but because I was constantly surrounded by good examples. Another tip. Try using podcasts as a speaking prompt. After you finish an episode, record yourself summarizing it or sharing your opinion. It's a great way to practice spontaneous speaking. You don't need anyone to listen, just do it for you. Then you can play it back and hear where you hesitate or repeat words. It's like having your own mini speaking coach. And here's something you might not expect: podcasts taught me patience. Sometimes I didn't understand a whole episode, and I had to be okay with that. I learned to tolerate the discomfort of not knowing every word. And over time, that discomfort shrank. I stopped needing to translate in my head and started thinking in English instead. Another trick that really helped me is using podcast transcripts when they're available. At first, I would listen without reading. Then I'd go back, read the transcript, and highlight parts one missed or didn't understand. It's amazing how much clearer things become when you see the words on paper. It's like giving your ears a second chance. Also, don't underestimate the power of short episodes. Some learners think longer means better, but honestly, 5 or 10 minutes of focused listening can be more effective than struggling through an hour-long episode you don't really enjoy. The key is to find something that fits your attention span and your energy level for that day. I also love how podcasts expose me to different accents. British English, American English, Australian English, even regional accents within one country. At first, it was hard to keep up, but eventually, I became more flexible in my listening. That flexibility really helps when you talk to real people from different places. One thing I wish I'd known earlier is that it's okay to listen multiple times. Sometimes I felt guilty for replaying an episode one liked instead of jumping into a new one. But repetition helps. Each time, I notice new phrases or clearer pronunciation. Don't be afraid to re-listen. It reinforces learning in a natural way. I also want to say that I use podcasts to track my progress. Every few months, I'll go back and listen to an episode one struggled with before. It's so satisfying to realize I now understand it easily. It's like looking back and seeing how far you've climbed a mountain. You don't always notice your progress until you pause and reflect. Finally, podcasts helped me stay consistent. I didn't need to force myself to study. I wanted to listen, like on walks, during lunch, while cooking. Learning became a part of my life, not just something I had to do. And that made all the difference. So that's how I use podcasts to level up my English. Not by forcing myself to study harder, but by weaving English into my daily life in a way that feels natural, fun, and full of discovery. If you haven't tried podcasts yet, start today. Pick one that sparks your interest, hit play, and just listen. Don't worry about understanding everything. Just listen. Your ears and your brain are learning more than you think. And remember, every episode is a new opportunity. Every voice you hear teaches you something. And every time you press play, you're growing. So keep going. Your English journey is groovy, and it's only just begun. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'm Sarah from Groovy English, and I'll see you next time. Stay curious. Stay groovy. And keep learning.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.